Is Rihanna really sparking that old Ye-level drama we all thought was buried? This whole situation popped off from one tiny post, and now the internet is arguing about whether Ryrie meant to like a post shading Beyoncé and Taylor Swift. Like, was she secretly trying to let something out? And apparently, Tina Knowles is not having any of it. Word is she's ready to step in and check Rihanna for even hinting at downplaying her daughter's success. Things are getting bold out here. You'd think Rihanna would be too busy juggling her empire to entertain any messy energy, but here we are. So let's break down this madness. The post everyone is fighting about basically said Rihanna has more star power than Beyoncé and Taylor Swift, and the reactions alone could fill a whole docuseries. Some folks swear Rihanna wasn't throwing shade at all, saying she simply liked the post hyping her up. And according to them, the statement itself isn't even wild, just facts, point blank. Rihanna really did flip the whole game on its head. She doesn't need to be locked in a studio day and night or hitting back-to-back cities doing 5 outfit changes just to stay relevant. She turned lip gloss and lingerie into a billion-dollar empire, and now she's making money in her sleep like it's nothing. But then you've got the other crowd saying Rihanna must be bold to think she's got more star power than Beyoncé or Taylor because she can't pack a stadium the way they do. According to them, Rihanna's bag comes from business moves, not music. And if she ever tried to compete with Beyoncé's stage presence or Taylor's monster tour numbers, she'd get humbled fast. Some people are even out here claiming Rihanna has always lived in Beyoncé's shadow and that this little like is giving bitter energy now that folks are whispering about her brands slowing down. What makes it wild is that both sides kind of got a point depending on how you define star power. If you're talking money, cultural impact, and how massive her influence is outside of music, Rihanna's sitting on a different level. Rihanna really carved out her own lane. She turned herself into a full-on luxury brand, standing next to billionaire corporations like it's light work. But if you're measuring star power based on vocals, touring power, and long-term musical legacy, Beyoncé and Taylor are operating on a whole different level. But here's where it gets extra spicy. Some people swear this isn't just about Rihanna liking a shady post. They think she's still holding on to old tension, and this drama is tied to a long-standing beef that never fully died. And honestly, this might be the perfect moment to bring that history back up. When Rihanna first came on the scene, she was a major Beyoncé fan just like everyone else at the time. She even talked about how Beyoncé used to give her advice and once wrote her a full letter bursting with love and encouragement.
So has she given you any kind of advice or?
Yeah, she actually wrote me this cute little letter and she signed it with her autograph. It was so cute. When I first met her, and she wrote, she was telling me just let loose when you perform and just have fun and be in control.
Things got real tense between them when Beyoncé dropped Bow Down, a track that sounded like she was telling every other female artist, Rihanna included, to get on their knees because she's the queen. The message was loud, and people definitely felt like Beyoncé was drawing a line in the sand. Rihanna clapped back fast, posting, "I only know how to be number one. I could use a challenge. How that feel down there on your knees, huh?" She wasn't playing at all. She even reposted an article calling her the Queen of Pop and captioned it, "It's only March, people. 2013 is already owned. Stay tuned." That was some bold energy right there. And for years, people have whispered that Beyoncé low-key isn't thrilled with Rihanna's rise, especially because Rye came after her and still skyrocketed into global fame. And the receipts fans bring up aren't small. Popularity-wise, Beyoncé may have more followers on social media, but apparently Rihanna is the one who ends up being searched more worldwide. Beyoncé dominates the US, but everywhere else, Rihanna's name pops up more, and people argue that makes her the more universally recognized pop star. Then there's the business side, and that comparison isn't even close. Rihanna blew the doors off the industry when she launched Fenty Beauty with Sephora back in 2017. It became a global storm overnight. The brand pulled in $570 million in revenue in just the first 15 months, which had everyone's jaw on the floor. Rihanna didn't just step into the beauty world, she took over like it was nothing. Rihanna officially stepped into billionaire status in 2021, thanks to Fenty Beauty, Savage x Fenty, and her clothing ventures, putting her once again ahead of Beyoncé in the business lane. Then she dropped a whole hair care line not too long ago, and people immediately started comparing it to Beyoncé's line, saying Rihanna's version is already performing way better. The rivalry energy stays alive even when they're not speaking. But beyond business wins and chart success, there's always been that unspoken tension involving Jay-Z. Back in 2005, when Rihanna's song Pon de Replay exploded, Jay-Z, who had just stepped in as CEO and president of Def Jam, signed her almost instantly. Rihanna said it was the best thing that ever happened to her at that moment. But that's also when things reportedly got complicated. Rumors started swirling that Jay-Z was getting too close to Rihanna and that the two had an alleged affair. People still bring this up because of the biography Becoming Beyoncé by J. Randy Taraborelli, released in 2015, which claimed the Carters actually separated for a whole year back in 2005. According to the book, their temporary split lined up with the period when Jay-Z discovered Rihanna, which pushed rumors into overdrive. And during an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Taraborelli said Beyoncé didn't know how to process the situation at the time, and it shook things so much that she and Jay went their separate ways for a while. He claimed they spent about a year apart because Beyoncé wasn't sure what to make of everything involving Rihanna, and that uncertainty had both of them spiraling in different directions. We've all heard some wild stories about that alleged Jay-Z and Rihanna situation, including one claim that Beyoncé once showed up to a party alone, only for Jay-Z to walk in later with Rihanna beside him, looking extra close. The rumor says Beyoncé broke down the moment she saw them, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe, while Jay supposedly didn't even look her way. People say Jay-Z and Rihanna allegedly kept enjoying the party like nothing was happening, and Solange was the one who had to step in and comfort Beyoncé. It was painted as a messy moment that had everyone whispering. Then there were even bigger claims floating around, saying Jay-Z and Rihanna got mixed up in behavior that pushed serious boundaries. These were allegations from Rihanna's former publicist, statements that were never proven and were widely questioned later. He claimed he was stopped by unmarked law enforcement vehicles and told that federal agents were monitoring Jay-Z at the time because of past industry conflicts and old controversies involving other artists. According to him, these officials introduced themselves as a task force and asked pointed questions. But again, none of this was ever confirmed, and the publicist later admitted to making up stories in the past. Still, the rumors kept spreading like wildfire. He said the agents asked him to step aside for a talk, and he followed them, shaking with nerves. According to his story, they brought him into some empty room and started questioning him until he realized how serious everything sounded. But here's the thing. The claims he repeated were never confirmed, and many parts of his story were later challenged publicly. He claimed the agents told him they were looking into Jay-Z for serious misconduct involving Rihanna back when she was still early in her career, along with vague mentions of others. But again, this was his story, not verified facts, and he eventually admitted to making things up in the past, which makes his whole account shaky. People online also pushed another rumor about the real reason behind Rihanna and Chris Brown's infamous fight, trying to link it back to the Jay-Z allegations. Jaguar Wright was one of the people repeating a version of the story, saying Chris supposedly snapped after hearing rumors about Rihanna being involved with Jay-Z. She also claimed Chris confronted her about things he didn't like, and that the argument turned into a fight in the car after Rihanna followed him, feeling embarrassed and upset. These stories have been passed around for years, but none of them have solid proof behind them. They've just fueled drama and endless speculation.
Like, people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so hard to change the narrative of that night. Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most involved with, and that was Sean Carter. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from the celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with.
Word around the industry was that Jay-Z had crossed the line one too many times, so Beyoncé hit him with some strict rules. According to an insider, Jay was ultimately very grateful she didn't give up on him, so he agreed to follow whatever boundaries she set. No more late nights out with the boys, and absolutely no private one-on-one meetings with female talent. That was off the table. And when it came to that rule, another source told Hollywood Life that Beyoncé stayed especially alert around Rihanna, saying, "Rihanna is a person she's suspicious of. There have been so many rumors over the years about her and Jay. It's hard to know what to believe at this point. They added that Beyoncé watched any interaction between Jay and Rihanna closely, not banning him from working with her, but keeping things tight. And now, here we are, with Rihanna liking a post that looks like it's shading Beyoncé. Things just got messy again. Of course it's gonna spark noise. And the word going around is that Tina Knowles is not playing about her daughter. She's not letting anyone downplay Beyoncé's success, especially not Rihanna or whatever people are calling subtle shade. Mama Tina is reportedly ready to gather Rihanna, the bloggers, the comment section professors, and anybody else acting like Beyoncé didn't climb to the top through discipline, talent, and real longevity. And honestly, one thing the internet knows for sure is that Tina Knowles will defend her child without hesitation. Now the real question is this actually Rihanna shading Beyoncé? Or are fans and family just tired of the nonstop comparisons? Are we watching real tension build? Or is social media blowing things up again just to keep the stan wars alive? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.